then I cry for 3 or 4 days.
You used to cry for 3 4 days. You know that he will go for a long period of time. Okay, tell me, if your son goes for tuition and his tuition teacher slaps him, would you like it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Now I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Your name is Ekta.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Ekta, please introduce yourself.
As you already know, ma'am, my name is Ekta and I'm from Panchkula, Haryana. And I provide home tuitions to students. I'm a postgraduate in physics and I'm preparing for government exams. And I have a kid, I have a boy of 9 years old, and my husband is in army.
Okay.
That's all, ma'am.
You have a 9-year-old son.
Yes, ma'am.
You are a postgraduate in physics,
Yes, ma'am.
which is amazing because physics is quite tough. I've heard that it's not easy to clear physics, and you have done post graduation in physics. That's amazing. So, you didn't do any job in the field of physics?
No, ma'am. At that time, I'm not doing job. But in Feb, my husband is returning back. Means he is taking retirement. So I will join after that.
Okay. So, your husband is taking
Yes, ma'am.
early retirement?
Yes, ma'am. 2 years early.
Okay, but your son is only 9 years old, right?
Yes, ma'am. But ma'am, in army, he did 20 years.
Okay,
job.
in army he worked for 20 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what is he planning to do now after getting retired?
Ma'am, he will prepare for bank exam or SS exam.
Okay, okay.
He is also MSc Computer Science, ma'am.
He is also MSc Computer Science, so he wants to work in the field of computers.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are giving home tuitions. That means you go to children's place, right?
No, ma'am. Students come to my place.
That is not called home tuition. Home tuition means you go to every child's place and then teach them. All the students
Yes,
come to your place. So do you
Yes.
teach them in a group?
Yes, ma'am. 4 to 6 o'clock.
No. Do you teach them
In the
in a
evening.
group? Are they in a group?
No, ma'am. All classes are in a group.
So you teach
Yes, ma'am.
all students together from 4 to 6.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have not put them in different groups that, the class 6 batch is different, class 7 batch is different. You have not put them in different batches.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, I am living in village and it's a town type.
So what do you teach them?
Ma'am, maths and science.
Okay, you are teaching maths and science. Okay. Don't
Yes,
you teach physics, but you have done post graduation in physics. Are you not teaching physics?
No, ma'am. I teach physics, but only two students comes for of class 11th.
Okay. So there are
Yes,
only
ma'am.
2 students of physics.
Yes, ma'am.
Your husband is in army. So currently you are living alone.
Yes, ma'am.
Does your son also study with the other students?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. So
No.
you teach him separately?
No, ma'am. He studied himself, ma'am.
He studies himself. In which
Yes,
class
ma'am.
does he study?
Ma'am, he studies in 4th class.
Okay. He studies in class 4. Okay. How did you come to know about my channel?
Ma'am, from YouTube.
Okay. So you were scrolling through YouTube and you saw my video.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And do you practice on some apps also? English speaking practice.
No, ma'am. At that time, I'm not doing anything, ma'am.
Okay. You are not practicing English on any app.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Should I give you a topic to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
You have to tell me how you feel when your husband goes for his army duty. When you live alone and he's on his duty, how do you feel? You have to tell me that.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, when my husband comes, then I feel happy. But I am living alone about 11 years. Till 11 years. And in starting, when I got married, I feel very bad when he goes back, when he went back to his duty. Then I cry for 3 or 4 days, but after that I adjust myself, and now I didn't have any feeling. And when he goes, I cry only for 1 hour or 2 hour. After that, I feel means I live in my daily means I adjust myself in my daily life, as I. But when he comes, sometimes I feel happy, and sometimes I feel that means we fight with each other sometimes, on little issues that we create, that are created by ourselves. And but I'm happy with him because he cares very much about me. And he is very means disciplined. And w- uh, one thing about himself is that he cares like like a child.
Okay.
And he makes food for me when he comes to home. But sometimes, ma'am, I'm nervous.
Just say whatever you feel. Don't worry about the
Okay.
mistake. ठीक है? आप बस बोलते रहो जो जो मन में आ रहा है.
Ma'am, as means according to as the time passed, I adjust myself in this, because I live alone. Nobody lives. Me, I and my son live alone, and in my house, no one lives. And now I like my this life, and I don't want any means interference in my life. So I'm happy.
Okay, then
Yes,
very
ma'am.
good, very good. So you have
Yes,
spoken
ma'am.
very well. You have spoken very well. Okay, so you want to say that you really miss him when he goes, but initially when you got married and he went on duty, you used to cry for 3, 4 days. You used to feel so
Yes, ma'am.
lonely and you used to feel
Yes,
so bad. But slowly you have, adapted to this situation that you know that he will come and he will go for a long period of time. Now you are
yes, ma'am.
habitual of that. Now you don't cry for that long and you live in the present. You enjoy life. You live with your son and now you are loving your life. But your husband is so
Yes, ma'am.
caring that when he comes home, he cooks for you. You fight with each other. You are still happy with him. Do you
Yes, ma'am.
wish that he had been in some other job instead of army and he could have lived with you forever?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you are happy that he is serving his country by working in
Yes,
army.
ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am.
Very.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are proud of your husband.
Ma'am, when one day I said to him that means there will be some there was some circumstances that the fight will begin between India and Pakistan. Then he will be then he was in the Firozpur unit, and I said, come back and take retirement. I will not live alone. Then he said, if I take if I take retirement, and after the retirement fight begins with Pakistan or with other country, then I will go. This is not this. This is not the that I am not doing in not doing job, but after retirement I go. I will go because this job gives me so much.
Okay. So he loves to
So
serve his country even
he
after
said,
retirement. Even after
yes, ma'am.
retirement, he wants to go and help his country in the war.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? He's
Yes, ma'am.
quite a dedicated person. I mean, he is so faithful to his country.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
amazing.
Mm.
When you got married, you used to live alone when he went on duty. So you didn't live with your in-laws?
Ma'am, I lived with in-laws for only for 1 year.
Okay.
There was some circumstances that I had to leave that place. Sometimes my mother-in-law comes at my home, at this home.
Okay. She visits you
Yes, ma'am.
sometimes.
Yes, ma'am.
Where do your parents live?
Ma'am, my parents are about 3 kilometers away from my place.
Oh, wow. Very good. So you keep
Yes, ma'am.
visiting them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Ekta, why do you want to improve your English skills?
Because I have to go in education sector, and there I need spoken English.
Yeah. So whichever
So
subject you will teach, you will have to face the interview in English, even if you don't teach
yes,
English, right?
yes, ma'am.
Do you like teaching students at your place?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, how many students are there?
Ma'am, 14 students
Oh, you have
comes.
14 students. That's amazing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do they fight with each other when you are teaching?
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes.
And how do you handle it?
Ma'am, I scold them, and or sometimes I slap also,
Oh,
because yes, ma'am, because their parents means allow to me that I can slap him if they fight, or
their parents have allowed you that you can slap.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me, if your son goes for tuition and his tuition teacher slaps him, would you like it?
Yes, ma'am.
We like it.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, if he will do any mistake, then sometime, ma'am, it will the punishment should be like a slap, means punishment should be like not so means child should not be so harassed. Matlab,
You mean to say the punishment shouldn't be very harsh.
very harsh. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, tell me, you teach all of them together. All 14 students
Yes,
come from 4 to 6, right?
yes, ma'am.
You teach them from 4 to 6. So let's
Yes,
say
ma'am.
there is a student from class 11 and there is other student from class 8. Both of them ask something at the same time. Then what do you do?
Ma'am, first of all, I will tell class 8 student, because the topic of class 11th is
Difficult.
means difficult. Yes, ma'am, and it takes two time to understand them.
Okay, tell me, do you like cooking?
No, ma'am.
You don't like? Okay.
Ma'am, I don't like, and I don't know so much
Okay,
about
you don't
cooking.
like cooking. So you cook for yourself and your son every day?
Yes, ma'am.
So that means that's a core for you because you don't enjoy cooking, right?
Yes, ma'am. But ma'am, I cook only for me and my son. And if if the guest comes, then I will prefer a restaurant or a
Okay.
hotel.
So whenever
Yes, ma'am.
guests come, you order food from outside or you take them to a restaurant?
Yes, ma'am.
You order food.
Ma'am, I order food from restaurant.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And when your husband comes, does he ask for anything or he cooks himself?
I ask him cook for myself,
Oh, you ask him to
and
cook,
my
he cooks
son.
for you.
Yes,
So
yes, ma'am.
is he
Then my son
fond of,
also, ma'am, he loves cooking, and he also know very too much about cooking. And my son also means make a list before coming,
oh,
before he's coming, and then he said when he comes, then he said, "Papa, make for me dosa, idli,
okay.
whatever he wants."
No, when his father will visit, he will ask him to cook
Yes,
all those things. He keeps a list ready. Okay, so
yes,
your
ma'am.
husband is such a good cook. Has he learned
Yes,
cooking?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay.
I don't know it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so your mother-in-law taught him cooking?
Yes, ma'am. My mother-in-law loves cooking, and she is also a very good cook.
Mhm. Okay, she taught him cooking and he loves to cook.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
Yes, ma'am.
When he comes, for how many months does he stay with you?
Ma'am, about 1 month.
Okay,
Ma'am, he comes for 3 months in a year.
okay, okay. So he
Yes, ma'am.
stays home for 3 months in the whole year.
Yes, ma'am.
He comes for 1 month and then he goes on duty for 2 months, two, three
Yes,
months,
ma'am.
right?
2, 3 months. Yes, ma'am.
So for 1 month, you enjoy delicious food cooked by him, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
does he go and visit his parents?
Yes, ma'am.
You all go?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
In June, my father-in-law has been expired, and now my mother-in-law is alone, and now he will stay here. But there are some other members in family, and there was some problem in the family, so she was staying there. And in Feb, she will come here, and she will stay with us.
Okay. So your
Yes, ma'am.
father-in-law passed away and your
Yes,
mother-in-law
ma'am.
is living alone right now. So she will
Yes, ma'am.
move in with you in February. And after that, she
Yes,
will live with your family.
yes, ma'am.
Then you will get to eat lovely food prepared by your mother-in-law.
Yes, ma'am.
Your son, is he fond of his grandmother?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is his school? Is it far away?
Yes, ma'am. It's about 20 kilometer far away.
So does he go by a bus?
Yes, ma'am. School bus.
Okay. He does his homework himself.
Yes, ma'am. And I will never ask about his homework because ma'am, his age is only 9 years, and I think about means up to class fifth or sixth, we should not interfere.
So he is doing well in studies. I mean, he
Yes,
scores
ma'am.
well.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you go for PTMs?
Sometimes, ma'am.
So in
Uh,
PTMs, the teachers speak in English.
yes, ma'am.
So do you face problems there?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, all teachers are very fluent in English.
Okay.
And my son also speaks English at school. And when I will try to talk to him, then he refuses.
Oh. So he
But
doesn't
yes,
speak
ma'am.
English at home. And what about your
Yes,
husband?
ma'am.
Is he good at English?
Yes, ma'am. He is good at English, and when he said to me that when he asked me that I have to speak in English with him, but ma'am, my emotions not comes
Okay, okay.
when I talk to him.
Okay, he
Yes,
wants
ma'am.
you
Yes, ma'am.
to speak English with him. But you feel
Yes, ma'am.
the feelings are not there when you speak in English.
Yes,
You feel that.
yes, ma'am.
So when your husband goes for PTMs, he speaks to the teachers very nicely.
Yes, ma'am.
Your son has a lot of friends in school and neighborhood.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, how can I improve my English? Ma'am, I think everyone says that I'm good in English while I write, but in speaking, I feel nervous. Means I don't have any confidence.
See, in writing, you have time to think. When you write, you have time to think. But when you are in front of the other person, you don't have time. You have to immediately
Yes,
speak.
ma'am.
You can't just keep translating in your head.
Yes, ma'am.
आप दिमाग में सोच सोच कर ट्रांसलेट तो नहीं करते रहोगे. You will have to speak there and then. I mean, the more you practice, the better you will become. If we
Yes,
practice
ma'am.
cooking every day, we will become better cooks. And you can become fluent only by practicing. So you should speak English every day. If there are no one who is willing to speak English with you, then you should try spoken English apps so that you can
Yes,
practice
ma'am.
speaking every day. By just listening to English content, listening to English content is amazing. I mean, it's important. But just by listening to English content, you can't become fluent in English.
Ma'am, once I try Ace Fluency app, but the on this app at this app, some peoples are asking personal numbers, or they are speaking in Hindi. So I left that app.
No, don't worry. There are all kinds of people. Sometimes you will get nice people also who really want to learn English. So you don't speak
Yes,
to those people who are asking for your personal information on who are speaking in Hindi. Disconnect the call, then try again. You will definitely get nice people also. In my recent videos, I have told about Sparky also. There is an app which is an AI app. So
okay.
you can download that app. That app is very, very affordable. It is just 600 for 6 months. So by just paying
Okay.
100 rupees per month, you can practice with an AI. AI never judges you, even if you are feeling nervous. So there is no need to worry because it is not a person. It is an AI.
Yes, ma'am.
It is a robot.
AI. Okay, ma'am.
So that can help you, right?
Oh,
The link is in
yes,
the
ma'am.
description of this video. You can download this app if you want. Okay, so you
Okay, ma'am.
spoke very well and it was such a lovely conversation. Okay, then bye bye. All the best.
Bye. Thank you, ma'am.
Well.